Hello there, my name is h0lmb0m and today I will be explaining the Halo 5 beta because a little bit over a week ago I had the honor to fly to London to test not only the Master Chief Collection but also the Halo 5 beta. And I don't work for 343, I'm just a pure Halo fan, so in this video I'm gonna be 100% honest and transparent with you guys, just explaining what the game is, what it has to offer, and yeah, everything based off of my own experience playing the game for about 2 hours. So please wait until the end of this video with leaving your comments down below, because I know how many emotions are out there and maybe we should just save it for later, alright? So the first thing they told me about the Halo 5 beta was that this is a game heavily focused on 4 vs 4 competitive arena gameplay. And to me that sounded very MLG, which made me think this is probably influenced by the new pros that they've been hiring. There's like 5-6 pros floating around in the 343 industries right now, which is kind of cool. And then they went on to a 10-minute introduction for all the new mobility and movement in this game that the Spartan have access to in the multiplayer. And I'll go into detail about that in a little bit, but first I just want to say that I find it very interesting how the FPS console industry right now seems so desperate to evolve and change and add new layers and find new quirky things to add to their game so that the experience will be just, you know, fresh and new. But are they succeeding with that? I don't really know. But right now, the thing that's hip and new and cool is the movement. Just being able to move around the map, flying and doing things, that seems to be the cool thing. And Halo 5 is no exception. Here's a list of movement abilities in this new Halo 5 beta that every single Spartan in the game has access to. Number 1, Sprint. Everyone has endless sprint. They can sprint forever, never get dry, never get exhausted. But there's an interesting thing there because you don't recharge shield while you're sprinting. So let's say I'm one shot right now and I'm sprinting away, I don't recharge, but I stand still behind a rock for 2 seconds and I keep on sprinting. If I didn't let myself start recharging there, I will still be one shot forever. So I have to stand still or like move around without sprinting for a little bit until I start recharging again. Then I can start sprinting and then I'll be cool. But because that's a little bit tactical there, like when do you want to use the sprint? And the sprint also accelerates, so it starts off a little slow and then you get into max speed and there's like flashes on the screen indicating that you're in max speed. And during max speed, there's a few things you can do. If you press the crouch button during max speed sprinting, you will do a little glide, like a slide that's in many games right now. And I didn't find that too useful, but you do become small and it can be good to get away around a corner or something. And another thing you can do while you're in max speed is press the melee button. And you will do like a melee charge. You're like... And if you hit a guy, like you do like a Falcon Punch charge, if you hit a guy like that, you will have a knockback and he will like fly up in the air, be one shot, and you can easily pick him off. So that's the thing you can do. And the movement ability that I use the most is the thruster pack kind of thing, the dashing. Like every 4 seconds or whatever, you can do a dash, like thruster pack in Halo 4 and in the new Call of Duty as well. Like you can dash in any direction at any point in time. Another movement spell is the Hulk Smash. It's a ground pound, which when you're in the air, you can hold the crouch button and you will stand still in the air, charging yourself up, and if you're high enough above the ground, you will unleash the Hulk Smash, which allows your Spartan to fly towards the ground, which takes out the shields of the players you hit and possibly kills them. It's really hard to hit though, but it can be a thing that's useful, especially around corners. But the thing with the Hulk Smash is that while you're in the air holding the crouch button and charging the thing up, you're really loud, like, so you can hear if someone's around you doing that thing. You're like, okay, I should jump away and not stand still because then they will probably hit you. So it's very hard to hit is what I'm getting at. And in the Halo 5 beta, you can climb up ledges. There's a lot of games that have this, but in the Halo 5 beta, it's pretty key because the maps are built around it. For example, on Midship, yes, they do have a Midship remake. The sword platform and on top Midship or Heretic, I couldn't reach that. I was running around trying to jump up, but then a developer like shook my shoulder and be like, dude, you need to press A again. So what you do is you jump, and then when you're at the edge, you press again, and then you'll climb up. So that way, your movement on maps becomes insane, because you can jump, thruster pack, and climb up things. So you can basically, like, you're Superman on the map. Like, Another thing that's connected to the movement is the zooming in. And I noticed people freaking out yesterday on Twitter because there was a leak about this beta. And people were talking about aiming down sights from Call of Duty or whatever. I haven't personally played any new Call of Duty at all, so I don't know what people were talking about. But in this game, I didn't even notice something weird about that. It's called smart scoping when you zoom in. And every single weapon has sort of a zoom in. You know, in Halo 3, for example, you could zoom in with the AR, but it's more like a binoculars than an actual zoom. You can fire your gun while you're zoomed in, but in Halo 5, you can zoom in and shoot with every single gun. And the thing you can do with this is, any point in time when you're in the air, if you zoom in, your Spartan will float in the air. He will stand still. It's really quirky and weird. But I find it really interesting. I didn't have enough time to experiment with this, but I did get a sick triple kill where I jumped out, I had a double, and I pressed the zoom button because, you know, I wanted to quick scope a guy. But then I just stood still and I was like, oh, triple kill. You know, it was a really weird thing, but it was definitely a new feeling there. At this point, everyone, I know you're freaking out. I know you're going furious. I know you're mad. I know it sounds like I'm not talking about Halo at all. It sounds like I'm talking about some futuristic Superman game. I know, I understand you, I feel you, but just bear with me here. By mixing all these movement abilities that I just spoke about, you can do some insane stuff. For example, this ledge grabbing and boosting in the air, it all reminded me of Super Smash Bros. So in the game, on one of the maps, I found a fence with like a death zone on the other side. And what I tried was, I jumped out, and I boosted in, and climbed back up. And I jumped out, and I kind of could like stall on the ledge, jumping off the map, kind of hiding. You know, it's pretty insane. It really reminded me of Super Smash Bros. And it kind of worked. And while I was testing this funky thing out, an enemy player came running towards me, and he jumped up, started charging this Hulk smash thing. You stand in the air for like 2 seconds. I was noticing it, and I jumped out, and he flew right underneath me into the death zone. And then I boosted back and climbed out. It was like Salaya level, and I really wish I had it recorded, but you know, it's gonna be a lot of that stuff happening in Halo 5. So, let me tell you about some other mechanics that are in the game. There's a new game type that they showed me. It's 4 vs 4 and it's round based, and you only have 1 life. And you have less health, which overall made it feel like paintball. It was very arcadey, but a lot of fun. It really got the room amped up, everyone was screaming. So that's a thing you'll play with friends and have a lot of fun with. And another thing is, in the beginning of every game, you know, in Halo there's like a Slayer, and it's just like a picture of the map. In Halo 5 there's like super cool glide cams going around the map, showing the power weapons, stuff like that. I kinda like it, but the problem I saw was like, what if I forge my own map, and what does that show in the beginning? Like, can I make that camera or what? And I asked the developer, and he really didn't have a solution for that. So that's gonna be interesting to see what they do with that, because I want to make my own maps, and I want to have cool cameras as well. And I, as a person, I am very open to changes. I just want a fun game to play. But one thing that's very cringeworthy to me is the announcer. Not necessarily the voice, but the announcer calls out everything on the map. It'll be like 1 minute to sniper rifle, 10 seconds to sniper rifle. The enemy got the sniper rifle. And on the map, all the power weapons will have indicators on them, and they will have like times on top of them as well. So this will create like a cluster in matchmaking. It's like the sniper will be here in the middle in 4 seconds. Everyone will just go there, and you'll betray your teammates for it. It'll be a massacre! Good thing the beta is actually a beta, and maybe that's one of the things that will change. We'll see if I'm wrong or right about this. Maybe that's a good thing that allows new players to become on the same level as everyone else. But that, at the same time, takes away from the competitiveness, and the skill gap becomes smaller, you know. Moving on from that, there's a crazy amount of medals. As if we didn't have enough medals already, everybody. We now have aerial snapshot. If you no-scope a guy while he's in the air, you get an aerial snapshot. And I think if you get 3 headshots in a row with any weapon or something, you get a hat trick. I don't know what was going on. My screen was just covered in round little circles that didn't really know what they did. That's a thing that doesn't really matter, but it's just like, come on. And another new, small, little, subtle aspect of the gameplay is that in the game, the Spartans around you, they will have voices of their own that will basically call out for you. They will say, "Good job, Captain! Watch out, there's a grenade over there! and it's just like pre-made voices that just play, and this makes me kind of sad because I've noticed recently Xbox seems to not want people to chat with each other. To chat with strangers is like one of the most fun things in Halo 3 for me. You know, I always record strangers and put them online. I like to do that kind of stuff, but in Destiny, for example, there is no interaction with other human beings through the game chat. You can never hear another person. And in Halo 5 Beta, you might as well not even put in your mic because your Spartan is calling out for you. So basically the human interaction is being eliminated and Terminator will become a reality and Arnold Schwarzenegger is gonna kill us all! I guess I can touch on the maps a little bit. There were no big or asymmetrical maps. They were just small arena symmetrical maps. One of them kind of reminded me of Countdown from Halo Reach, but it was more compact and with no lifts because you just jump and climb everywhere in this game. And of course there's the Midship Heretic remake that feels really stretched out, kind of broad. The streets are like, whoa. And both the bases have 2 windows that you can jump up to if you climb and shoot at things and jump to things. It's kind of cool. So that is the Halo 5 beta, at least the version I got to play. So I hope you guys got an idea of what it's like. It's very different, it's very typical for this generation's FPS, and I can just start with saying this game was incredible to play. The APM, like the actions per minute, the button clicks per minute that I had was way higher than any other Halo game because you're doing so many like thrusts here and there and hump this and that doesn't necessarily have to be a good thing, but it was definitely intense on a very fun level. I mean, I was flying around being a little slipper pickle killing everyone, and when I got a hang of it, I felt really like unkillable because the players weren't that great and I seemed to always find a way to get away. But yes, no matter how fun this game is, it does not fulfill our dream as Halo fans right now. We have asked for so many things, you know, no sprint, go back to the super basic core gameplay with high skill gap, blah blah, this and that. Let me put it this way, let's say Halo 1, 2 and 3 as well is Charmander. We all freaking love Charmander. Charmander is like the best thing in the world. We played him for 12 years and we expect him to evolve into freaking Charmeleon and even possibly Charizard. But why everyone's getting so mad all the time when these new Halo games are being released is because Charmander is not evolving into either of these. He's in fact evolving into a bonfire with 2 legs. And that is not what we expected or wanted or anything like that. But you know, the bonfire with 2 legs is pretty epic. But he's not Charizard, and we still are waiting for Charizard. Maybe Halo 6 will be Charizard, we can truly hope for that. But yeah, at this point I truly understand 343. Because right now they gave us Master Chief Collection, and to them that is Charmeleon. That is the evolution, that is like now we're allowed to play the old games in the best form and shape possible. And that's it, now we have what we wanted. But do we really? I guess we do, and Master Chief Collection has bought us a lot of time to keep playing the game that we loved so much, at least for now, at least for a couple years. Please, everyone out there who keep raging and being mad on the internet, it's not gonna help anyone. That is just the lame, dumb human way of dealing with these problems. This game, Halo 5, it's not gonna change from what it already is. Like, some of the maps are already made and they're built completely around the mechanics that are already in the game. Maybe they'll change some things in the beta that's in December. I think the beta is gonna last for 3 weeks, so that's gonna allow for a lot of good things to happen. But it's not gonna be like this basic core old style Halo. It's gonna be Halo 5. Halo 5 is Halo 5. It's a fantastic video game, but a very different Halo. So instead of being angry and mad and negative and keeping all this bad stuff happening, just let us together do something that might actually help the situation, you know? I definitely think that all of us who truly care about Halo could sit down and brainstorm a game that would be true to the essence of Halo and still feel new, fresh, and like extremely exciting. It doesn't need all these new quirky things to feel new. It just needs a couple new maps, a couple new vehicles, a couple new things that doesn't change the core of just walking around as Master Chief, killing your friends and launching warthogs and sandtrap and being able to be better than another player at the game. So maybe that is what we should do one day, a community project where we create a prototype of the dream Halo that we wish we could get one day. What do you think? So with all this said, I personally love the Halo 5 beta. I was laughing my butt off, getting aerial snapshots, just flying around, climbing everything. It was a good time. And with all these new things, you can do so many maneuvers and experimenting. It's intense. I will probably prefer this game over any other game on the Xbox One, which is good enough for me. And if I eventually, possibly for some weird reason, get bored of this game, I can just, with a button click, go back to any of the old Halos in 60 FPS. So please, just relax, everybody. Put a smile on your face and go enjoy the Master Chief Collection. Because it's out! It's released today!